save it. Don't do the show before the show. Well, the new awful Jazz players jersey. Oh, man, we should get into that. So many things to hate on today. What is up, everybody? I can't do that with this in the mouth. It's very hard. I got my little toothpick. What is up, everybody? Welcome in to the Haters Lounge. Studio B edition of the Haters Ball. And yes, we've presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, the OGs, America's top-rated sportsbook.
Won a lot of money on DraftKings.
Did you really?
Night.
You must have been betting against the Boston Celtics.
What makes
I take
you
it.
think that?
I had a hunch about it. Boy, I can't do this. I've dropped it 3 times. Boy, I wonder what we're going to talk about today, Eric.
I'm rebranding as the Cackler.
That's a good one. It's actually a good laugh. Do you have a good laugh, like a good fake laugh or something?
No, I had a lot of good real ones last night, so they're out of my system.
Dude, I could tell you're on it today. I could tell you brought your A game. Later on in today's show, we are going to bring in, there it is. We're going to bring in the homie Miroslav, Serbian Corner, segment 3. I think he's going to teach us something that'll serve us in our trip to Serbia. In segment 2, we're going to talk about, guys, the Denver Nuggets are on the clock. Officially, purgatory is over.
Dude.
The gates of purgatory have opened. It is now up to the Nuggets to walk on out into a brave new world.
We just don't know which direction.
We don't know. We're about to find out.
Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. We see a bright light at the end of this tunnel. But first, guys, we have to go to the Haters Ball. The Boston Celtics. Yes, the Boston Celtics. And in particular, I just let you take the floor. Jason Tatum. He had a rough final.
Well, let's start with the positives. He made history.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Something we'll tell our children about. Our children's children.
He is in the record books. You're right.
100?
Yeah.
In one run?
100. He got exactly 100 too. That's what I love. 100. We were.
I just.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a commitment. A commitment to bad shots. And listen, I got to be honest. I think this Celtics team may be back eventually, guys. But so will I. So will I.
No one here is going anywhere.
Defense wins championships unless your offense sucks ass.
You know what's funny about this game too is the Celtics played well for like 4 minutes and went on like two different runs. It was like 2 minutes to start the game, 2 minutes in the third quarter, and if it weren't for that, they would have lost by 50.
That's right.
I know you could do this all, but like the game wasn't actually close.
Not even,
and
a
it
little
was
close.
actually less close than it appeared to be. It really was a hilarious game. Because the Celtics get up 14-2, and they come out, and you're like, and the crowd is going nuts, and it's all the energy, and you're thinking like even me watching it, I'm like, oh man, all right, Celtics, they're gonna go down swinging, and it was like 2 minutes later, the Warriors basically were like, I mean, come on,
Not just a casual 21-0 run.
yeah, come on.
It's hilarious. The Warriors are back. They're the same. The Warriors, the goddamn fucking Warriors. I would feel great, except for that I just now left to deal with the Warriors.
I know. That is like a part of it. Is like,
Yeah,
we don't want to overcorrect here. We don't want to like go too
It's
far.
like, oh yeah, we knew the Warriors would be dominant, and then we're like, oh no, now the Warriors are dominant.
Yeah, that is kind of a bummer. Like their confidence has to. I mean, they had confidence. This whole playoff run was honestly, it's one of my big takeaways is that they lost by 50 points to Memphis in one game and danced.
Yeah.
They danced along with it.
They're like, dude, we're gonna win.
The Warriors possess the most
Swag.
fuck around per
100 possessions.
yeah, like whatever of any team I've ever seen. Yes, they're losing in what should be embarrassing fashion to the Memphis Grizzlies, and they take that opportunity to sing "Whoop That Trick"
about themselves.
Yeah,
They were the trick.
Yeah,
And they're like,
somehow Draymond Green is in their huddle, like they don't care at all,
Yeah.
and then they're just like, all right, what are we gonna do? Like just moving on here. Listen, everything is good except for everything is actually bad. The Denver Nuggets now.
oh man, is this a bad haters?
Hold on.
We're very excited.
But in the same fashion that our beloved or recently beloved Colorado Avalanche must defeat the final boss by ending a dynasty.
Ooh.
The Denver Nuggets now are in a position
fucking great
where
stuff
they
right
are
here.
constructed in much the same way that the Golden State Warriors have been constructed. We have been drawing this parallel for many, many years that the Denver Nuggets can learn a lot from the Golden State Warriors. How poetic that the Denver Nuggets could give rise to the Golden State Warriors by losing Danilo Gallinari and allowing them to suddenly become the most dominant force in the NBA. And that they can also then extinguish that run. It's so beautiful. I want to cry.
You're making a lot of good points, but here's my thing. We spent the whole finals talking about this series from the Boston perspective first. Let's not change now.
You're right.
I thought that was a really good talking point. I want to pull on that thread. I think it's like
beautiful point.
You just wrote a story that I like
sorry.
really loved. Like, I
It's
wanna,
a beautiful story.
There's some more chapters to the story. I can't wait to get into
You're
it.
right, though.
But let's go back to the previous
yeah.
book.
Yeah. Let's go back. Do you guys think he was hurt?
Who, Bill Simmons? Yes.
I just love
Dave Portnoy? I do think he was
Did
hurt.
you practice this whole routine?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, you got to. All right,
A lot of it.
You know what? He played so poorly that we had to speculate. But to your point, I have to give some media members credit, including one, Bill Simmons, who a lot of people don't like. I love Bill Simmons.
I love Bill
I
Simmons.
Still a
really
fan.
enjoy Bill Simmons. Still love him.
Still a fan.
He had the stones to go on his show and be like, no, he wasn't hurt. No, he wasn't tired. Like, he just played like shit.
I was sitting there. He picked Jaylen Brown up with his right arm. Yeah, I think. Look, Bill Simmons said it best. I think he was just a little overwhelmed, and everyone seems to be seeing the same thing. Some people are getting very close to the truth, although they're still trying to figure out what happened.
Yeah, what
and
happened?
I'm like, dude, you're like 99% of the way there.
they actually are all the way there.
What
They're just
happened
like,
is what was gonna happen.
Well, I will say one thing I do think is interesting. When I talked to George Karl about this, he's brought it up like and we've heard players talk about this. The finals are different from the conference finals. It's like the Super Bowl, right? The Super Bowl is different than whatever because there's the theatrics, there's the media. Everybody descends on you. Like it feels different. People have been talking about this about the Stanley Cup finals. Like you go down to Ball Arena and it feels like a whole different stadium because so much is put into this is the theater. This is the stage of everything else was just an arena. This is the stage. And I do think there's something too, like when you watch a player like Tatum, he didn't choke, you know, in some of these earlier rounds. Like he had games that I think what you're kind of getting at is like he does this actually a lot, but he did it every game this time. And it's like, but it's not like it's that surprising that he didn't have one good game. That he usually has 2 good games in a series, but we act like it's 5.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys just close your eyes for half the series.
I told you guys this earlier. I have been listening to what I said, national regional podcasts where people from different, people from the Boston area, but also national podcasts. I heard the line so many times that the Boston Celtics had the better team. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? The Boston Celtics have 2 guys.
I kind of disagree with that. I would say the Boston Celtics have no guys. I think they have like
a great
8
team.
guys.
They've got a great
but they
team.
don't have a guy.
I agree.
The best player on the floor last night for the Boston Celtics was Al Horford.
But that's what I mean. Because they don't have
run.
the guy that's the guy. They just have like
Absolutely not. But I was like, what kind of analysis is this? What are you talking about? You're going up against a team that has Steph Curry. Pretty good, right? Klay Thompson didn't even play well. Does not matter.
Is Klay Thompson good?
I mean,
he's good. He's good. But
No,
I don't
what you're
think-
saying. I get what you're asking.
Klay Thompson is kind of a crazy person. Man.
I actually love that about him.
Watching him having lost even just 5% of it, it's just a guy taking insane
It's
shots.
insane shots. Yeah, like when
dude,
you
what are you
shoot 38% on
Yeah.
those crazy volume or whatever. But if you shoot 34, 35, you're like, what the hell was that, Klay?
But the best part about Klay is that they won and he went right back into it. He was full Klay as if he just had
This
the
is
best
it.
game
This
of
like
his
when
life.
you have Steph Curry on your team and you're like, Jordan Poole can be like,
Every now and then he's
I'm going to
great,
shoot
yeah.
it from the logo. And maybe I'll miss it. Maybe I'll make it. If I make it, dope. You're in big trouble. If not, Andrew Wiggins somehow has my back.
Right. There was a lot of guys.
Dude, they just have guys and guys and guys and
And
guys
they have
and
like
guys,
the ultimate guy.
And the
Andrew
worst part is
Wiggins
that next year they get
my guy.
Wiseman back, who didn't even fit into their world, but is a supreme talent. Or they can trade him. They
Or
can
they'll
find-
just trade it, man.
It's disgusting. This is what I'm
disgusting.
saying. Well, whatever. I don't want to get into the bummer vibes, but
They are going to be because you are right that they are going to be. I do love. That's why I love the Tampa Bay. So people that don't know, the Avs have been climbing this mountain as the Nuggets have been climbing it. They didn't have the injuries that Denver did, but they've kind of had some disappointing, like trying to get over the humps. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay is the Warriors of hockey,
Yes.
and that
Well,
they
the
have
Avs
this
are.
great. Well, the Avs maybe too, but
Yeah,
it's
I
just
know
like
what you
the
mean.
Nuggets.
I
are
know what
supposed to
you
be the
mean.
new ones.
Yeah. Dynasty.
They're a dynasty, but also they kind of done it the right way. They've
Yep.
had a lot of continuity. They've done it like smartly. They've done it with a good coach and like all these different pieces they've built through. They stuck to their process, and they play a smart, good brand of hockey. And so Denver, the Avs now are one game up, trying to unseat them. It's like they're the better team, but you have to, even when you're the better team, the establishment still has this like advantage over you.
Yes.
And the Avs are trying to upend that. And I do think that's a perfectly analogous thing to say Denver is not the Warriors. I mean, they can try to become the Warriors, but they are not that right now. And even if they're more talented, I do think that the Warriors kind of have this like, that is the big boss. To me, that
Yes.
is the big boss in the West next year.
The thing about a team
just
like the
won the title.
Warriors that play with such unbelievable, unflappable confidence is that at the end of the game where it's like, oh, who's going to make a shot? It's like the Nuggets
So
have
many
to
of them.
rise to a point where it's like that's not even in question. Like when they in that Nuggets series,
I
when it-
feel that way though already about Jamal and
me too.
Like, are you
I do
kidding me?
too.
Do you
We
have
saw it, we
any?
saw it, we saw it.
Here's
we
the
saw
other
it,
thing
we
too.
saw it.
I know they just
We
won the
saw it.
title, and a lot of it is because they did more than just one thing well. But even Golden State, I mean, when Steph's off the floor, you're kind of like, how do they score? And I know they do,
Right.
but
No. Honestly, there were moments in that game or in the series where it would be Clay, Poole, Draymond, Wiggins on the court, and then like Looney, and they would look horrible, absolutely horrible. And you're like, well, that's all the good players, but except
Right.
for Steph. And
Yeah.
sometimes that's just how it works, but you have to be able to survive it. The Warriors do have their defense,
you learn a
even
lot.
when their offense sucks. They still have defense.
You learn a lot about a star when they're playing the Celtics in the finals because you're rooting for them real hard. And Steph is incredible.
Do you have more of these? Do you have more things? Because
Yeah. I'm just screaming at my TV. I'm just screaming, where is 30? Every second he's
Yeah,
off
I
the
know.
floor.
It's so true.
The other thing
crazy.
quickly about just the Lightning. Lightning cheated last year.
They did?
Yes.
What did they do?
The Lightning did not have one of their best players, Stamkos, on their squad the entire year. They skirted the salary cap by not having him play the entire season, and then they were able to add him specifically to the playoffs roster. It's a big controversy.
It's like a big loophole or something.
They found the biggest goddamn loophole, and they absolutely they have won their two.
They deserve.
They
to be
deserve. They need
unseated.
to be discharged dishonorably. What
Wow,
they have is what has been described to me as the best
That's a full
goalie,
haters
and
ball.
potentially the best goalie
Of all
in the
time.
history
I've
of
heard
hockey.
that, yeah.
Of hockey, and I just watched him get scored on 4 times.
Yeah, it was really great. Those
So-
are fun.
To be fair though, the Avs did something really similar this year with Gabriel Landeskog.
Yeah,
Get
but
outta
that's not.
here,
It's not the same. It's not the same, and you know it. You
Yeah,
know it's not the same.
So more on this though. Here's one thing there's like a couple hot takes now that we can kind of like share now that the season's over. Like the 2023 season is over.
Oh boy.
One of them I have here is that I honestly believe the Nuggets and the Celtics are the only two teams that face the Warriors at full strength, like meaning the guys that they would play. The Nuggets went 5, with the final 3 of that one being great. And by the way, Jordan Poole, 11 of 20 on pull-up threes against the Nuggets. 12 of 46
So
the
disgusting.
rest of the way. He shot by far the best, like lights out on pull-up threes. Remember we were going through this,
We
and
were
it was
like, who needs Kevin Durant? You have
Jordan Poole. And I said, like, from talking to some Nuggets coaches, like, I knew part of their game plan was we don't think he's a great pull-up three-point shooter. He's streaky. Well, Denver hit the bad end of that streak a little bit. Was it a bad game plan? It's hard to say it was when you watch him the rest of the time not make those shots. But he did. Whatever. It happens. We're not going to analyze that. But I look at that and I go, did anybody challenge the Warriors more than the Nuggets?
No, they did
I don't
not.
think the Nuggets challenged them more than anyone else. But the Nuggets were down 2 starters.
Yep.
Dallas wasn't.
Nope.
Memphis was down Ja Morant, so we can maybe give him a little bit of that, although the numbers bear out that they were a lot better, and they went like 20-2 without him throughout the season and playoffs. So, and they won one of the 2 games they won was without Ja Morant. And then you look at Dallas didn't challenge him, and then you
Not
go the
even
Celtics
close.
at full strength.
Did not challenge
completely full strength, and they also same thing. So I look at this and I go, Nick Wright, after the Nuggets lost, he was like, the Nuggets just lost in 5 games in the first round. Do you really think Jamal makes a difference in there? If you say, hey, the Nuggets lost in 5 games to the champion, and by the way, the last 3 games come down to the wire, and they're missing their second and third best player, I'm like, you know what? I walk away from this playoffs now and this season, and I just feel almost more confident than ever. In fact,
Yes.
so very confident. You guys know what I did yesterday?
Oh, we all know.
Do we all know?
Well, we
hopped
here
on
do.
DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, and I laid down 100.
I matched you.
Did you really?
I matched you.
100 on the Denver Nuggets at 15-1 to win the title next year. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I'm not saying but look at 15-1 odds. I look at some of the names that were
Worth a
ahead of
flyer.
them on that list,
Worth
and
a
I said,
flyer.
you know what? I just watched this Warriors team that's very impressive for existential reasons, but basketball reasons, they didn't stop Yoke.
No.
At all.
No.
I look, yeah.
The way that series played out was eerily similar to series in the past where the Nuggets come out, they look like they are overwhelmed, like they're overmatched, and then Michael Malone makes adjustments that then start to pay dividends, and the Nuggets then we watch it happen twice in
Right.
the bubble. We
Yep.
watch it happen with Portland. Like that's just for whatever reason that's how it works. And the Nuggets found out how to play toe to toe with the Golden State Warriors in a way that nobody else did for the rest of the playoffs. Dallas had absolutely no clue how to play against the Warriors. They got destroyed. It was not even close. Like Memphis had a couple just absolutely they won by 50. The Warriors just couldn't possibly have cared less.
That's the thing, is that game, anybody that watched it, like, that wasn't they figured some things out against
No,
her. This,
they
then
were like-
the Warriors come
they were
back and
like-
smack them the next game.
Yeah, they were like, wow, we're not making shots and you're making every shot. Just guess what? We're going to make every shot next time. You're in big goddamn trouble if you think this is going to work again.
One observation I had along this same line, fellas, is I know a lot of Nuggets took a lot of flack this year, and they at times looked incompetent. But as far as like all the quote unquote bums in that series against Golden State, did anyone do the full stock watch on all these role players against Golden State by the end of the series? A lot of guys didn't look very good. Boston fans are down on Grant Williams.
Oh,
now.
right,
They're
right.
down
I
on
got
Derek
you. I
White
see what
right
you're
now.
saying, yeah.
And look, I still think
Peyton Pritchard.
I still
Pritchard, yeah.
ultimately see the light, see what people are saying
Right.
on the timing with Will Barton and all of that. But my point is, a lot of those guys, like who you thought looked really bad, down some key guys against Golden State. Turns out it's actually pretty hard to beat Golden State.
Turns out it's not possible at this exact moment.
Can we take our first break? Because I think that's a really interesting point that I'm not going to push back on, but I think it forms a very important conversation as we turn now away from 2022 and towards the 2023
Right,
season
right.
and the Denver Nuggets. So let's hit a break.
Good idea. Good idea. You'd think that I would be prepared for that. Oh, Avaka TV.
Oh, I know
Gets
them.
the people going. If you want to watch the Denver
Nothing
Nuggets
better than watching Vogt read this through those ridiculous green glasses.
or the Colorado Avalanche, you got to get Ivaka TV because they've got service in Denver and Colorado Springs right now. They've got channels like Altitude Sports, like DNVR. What? Whoa. You can watch your hater balls on the TV.
I don't feel like that was the right way to say that.
Yeah, you guys know what I mean. Haters balls
Haters ball.
on the TV. How do you get it? You go to ivaka.tv /DNVR. Is that right? I don't know, man. I lost the read. You go to
Yes.
ivaka.tv /DNVR. And if you use promo code DNVR, you're going to get $10 off your first 3 months. It's only $15 per month for the first 3 months plus receiver. No contracts, no hidden fees. We're serious fans of Ivaka. We're serious when we tell you that you should seriously consider switching to Ivaka and use promo code DNVR when you do. It's Friday, so I got to tell you about DraftKings, which I actually think applies to every single day of the week. At
Telling
this
you,
company.
hey, real quick for this DraftKings one, I'm going to improv here.
Please do.
We did this together. The Yoke MVP bet. Remember? Put it out there. And
Oh, yeah.
this one, actually, we had to wait a few games, like whatever. I'm telling you, I feel good enough about
I'm
it
in.
now.
I'm in.
I'm in. Like, I'm
completely
telling
in.
you, it's like, so if other people wanted to maybe kind of just feel the vibes, I'm telling you, like, I sincerely look at this. I'm not saying they're going to win. I just don't know why they can't.
Yeah, they're in the running. We see how this offseason goes. This is an exciting time.
It's not crazy. It just is wholly dependent on the health of two players.
Hockey fans, the final chase for the Stanley Cup is here. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Stanley Cup Final, has a can't-miss offer for the most exciting series in sports. This is a way for a lot of people to get skin in the game if their favorite team is out. That's not a problem for you fine folks here in Colorado. The Colorado Avalanche up 1-0 on the Tampa Bay Lightning, but you can still
parlay to Nuggets.
you can still profit off their success.
Absolutely.
Looking to turn another small bet into a big payday during the final, DraftKings will hook you up with same game parlays. I like to take Warriors money line, undefeated points, over Steph points. That usually
Dude, I
works
hit the
out.
sweetest parlay last night.
But you can pivot to the NHL parlays now. Check out the DNVR Avs podcast if you're trying to learn more about the game, and the DNVR Bets podcast if you're trying to learn more about that game. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use promo code DNVR. New customers can bet $5 on either NHL team to win their game and get $100 in free bets no matter what. That's free money. And that's code DNVR at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the Stanley Cup Final. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
My DraftKings account is at its high water mark currently.
Really?
I've never been healthier in DraftKings.
Really?
I am
Fully fed.
so far above. I made more money on the Warriors than I did on Nikola Jokic.
Are you gonna really?
Yes.
Are you gonna make some big time future bets then?
See, this is what they want you to do. I think I actually just might spend the money on
Really?
goods or services.
Yeah, like cash it out, take a vacation. I did that. It was kind of nice. Got this watch.
Really weird choice, bro. But whatever, you do you. So you were talking about how Peyton Pritchard and
Peyton Pritchard.
and Derek White.
Marcus
Derek
Smart.
White, holy smokes, man! That guy felt.
But was he incredible earlier on in the playoffs?
He was incredible in Game 1, where
And
they
less needed in other rounds of the playoffs.
Well, he was incredible in Game 1 of this round.
Right, that's right, yep.
The most improbable win in Game 1, which the series should have been over.
Here's why I think this is really important, because as we get into the series, or as we get into this offseason, we start to talk about the Nuggets, we all know what they need. They need some defensive players, to shore up some different areas.
Yes.
But I do think there is a chance where you can overcorrect too much and think this. To me, the story of the playoffs almost every single year, but certainly true this year, it's twofold. One, are you malleable enough? Are you versatile enough that you can figure out a team, not just figure them out strategically, but you have the pieces to say, these are the guys that are most important, or this is what they're doing that works. Let's adjust. So whether it's personnel, whether it's style, whatever it is, whether it's emphasis, you can adjust to stop that or to score in a different way. And then the other side of that is, can you do something so well, whether it's defense or offense, so overwhelmingly effective that other teams have no adjustment? There is no adjustment to you. I think the Warriors did both.
Yep.
Defensively, they had the people that they can say, this series is for this guy and this guy, and be elites that comes in and makes. Otto Porter makes a big impact. And then offensively, nobody has solved them.
Nope.
10 years into this, and it was disguised a little bit because KD was there, and of course nobody could solve them. But go back to 2015, 16, even though they lost in 16, I mean, still we can say that did Cleveland really stop them or solve them? No, they just outplayed them by one bucket, basically, one possession over the course of 7 games. It was still a razor's margin. They never really got solved. And I look at the Nuggets and I see it the exact same way. I don't think anyone's going to be able to solve Jokic. The same way nobody's been able to solve Steph Curry.
Yep.
I think Denver has a hidden advantage that very few teams do, and that their best punch is so different than everybody else's best punch that you either gear up solely for it or you're just vulnerable to it. The question is, they don't have the defensive versatility. We know that. But I don't think that means, as we've been talking, that you need all of these guys. You might just need an Otto Porter. You might just need a Gary Payton. You might just need a Nemanja Bjelica. These aren't names that ring out, but they're like, you know what? It gives us versatility to be able to solve whatever problem we need.
Could not agree more. To me, this run for the Warriors represented their most versatile in that they had the inside and the outside. Offensively, their defense has been something that has been there because they just swarm. They have long arms. They're in passing lanes.
And Draymond is a genius. He's an absolute genius.
Their absolute anchor when it comes to that. But they won a lot of games with Kevon Looney, and they won games being able to play inside, with the Dallas Mavericks.
Tell you, you know who Kevon Looney reminds me of? If we're talking Nuggets, who do he remind you of?
Kevon. Well, he's slow. Mason Plumlee.
No. You know who he reminds
Cousins?
me of? Zeke Naji.
What?
Zeke Naji, because you look at Kevon Looney and do you think, what's the skill set? Is he a lead? Is he this or that? Very smart, very willing to, grow into what it was they needed. He didn't, add a jump hook or add, the stuff. He's just he's been molded by Draymond into being this very elite defensive role player that does a lot of things. And I look at Zeke, if you just looked at Kevon Looney and were do the Nuggets need that, or do they need this or that? People would be I don't know. What can he do? Doesn't matter.
Yep.
What he can do is execute a game plan super well, defend multiple positions. And I look at Zeke and I think he's not that quite yet, But that's the hope of him. He could be a Kevon Looney type player that plays 20 minutes. Kevon Looney doesn't play that many minutes. It feels like he plays a ton of minutes, but he doesn't. He just plays enough minutes to be elite at that role.
But it depends on, as you're saying, it depends on the matchup. Sometimes he plays a lot. The Nuggets have the inside presence that is unstoppable. Nikola Jokic. He can do anything on the inside, no question. They have lost their outside presence with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Those pieces coming back already make them indefensible offensively.
Jokic, that's the thing, is Jokic's better than Curry was when you take away the other pieces.
Could not agree more.
That's the crazy thing.
The thing is
or more effective. I don't want to say better.
The thing about the Denver Nuggets, I mean, they just didn't have reliable outside offense going down the stretch because they lost their best players. We just immediately have that coming back into play. So the Nuggets are going to be indefensible offensively.
I agree.
And now it comes down to, like you're saying, what can you do defensively to make sure? But there is a question. Like, I honestly, like, in just thinking about it, I'm like, all right, with Nikola Jokic, what he's become, the monster that he has become, like, I feel like our offense is going to be almost Warriors-esque in that there are going to be stretches where nobody can do anything against the Denver Nuggets. If Jamal Murray gets hot and Nikola Jokic, they start playing two-man game, or you can just, deke somebody, pass it down to him. He just does his little jump hook. Like, that's cash every single time down. Like, if we can just, like, marginally improve our defense, I mean, I really don't know how you stop the Denver Nuggets.
I would pay ungodly amounts of money for Alex Caruso.
So here's the thing. Boston Celtics in the series had a 110 defensive rating. So that means the Warriors scored 110 points per 100 possessions against them. Can the Nuggets, what do they need to get to? Because I don't think they can be 110. The Celtics are a really good defensive team. They really are. So I don't know if they get to that. But here's the thing. The Nuggets this year, without Michael Porter, without Jamal Murray, they had a 114 offensive rating against the Warriors.
Yeah.
Murray and Porter add 1 point. Let's be conservative. Let's say you get to a 115 offensive rating. That means you just have to get to a 115 defensive rating to be able to compete with these teams. Everything else. And to me, that's kind of what I'm saying is I just look at it and I think the Nuggets' knockout punch is going to be Warriors-esque in that no team can solve it.
Nope.
They do all these different things and try these pieces. Like, I don't know. We're trying to keep them below 120 offensive rating.
Like,
they just
cool. We covered up Jamal Murray, and then Jokic just got the ball, and he shoots it at 70%.
Right. And that's just that defensive malleability. Again, you don't necessarily have to be elite, but can you make it so that other teams can't just like spread ISO your one guy or run the pick and roll? Like we're going to throw air offense and just do this. Like, can you get it to where they have to be honest and work for it? And if you can, I just think you're going to be. I'm feeling just so good about Denver.
I might put $300. I might put $500.
Agreed. Like, I don't think they'll ever be that top 5 defensive team in reg season. Heading into playoffs. But we've talked so much about how in the past they've been able to be opportunistic. And if you are just the better offensive team for 4 quarters, and because of that versatility, that 1 or 2 players, you can put 5 to 6 minutes of kills together. Here and there, that can be the difference. But the Nuggets at their best will be able to score with any team, including this Golden State team that just won.
Which, they did. We watched them do it.
Yeah, it was really
without Jamal Murray or Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, I'm feeling really good about it. They do need to get some defensive players though, like around the periphery, and that's where things get a little bit interesting. There was a report that the Nuggets may be interested in trading 21 and 30. This came from Kevin O'Connor, who's a friend of the show, really good guy. I don't know that he's not always a newsbreaker. It's not that I think that news came from nothing, but it's like one of those things where it's like, let's file it away as I'm intrigued, but I'm not going to put a whole lot of stock in it. Trading 2 picks for 1 pick. First of all, when you hear that, is that something like you're kind of into?
Not really. Not really, because they already had the pick and they traded a pick to do it. So, I mean, if there's a guy maybe one person really loves, and if Calvin really loves, I get it. But to me, the excitement of that trade was 30 can be moved more in a more flexible manner than 21 to get a guy that improves the team externally, not through the draft.
I'm so into this.
You're draft drunk.
I'm draft drunk. This is this is ironic because this is the bizarro Tim Conley.
It would be funny if his first move.
He always turns 1 draft pick into 2.
2 later.
If you turn 2 draft picks into 1. It's the exact opposite move. And I want Tari Eason.
So you're all in. You're draft drunk.
I am all in on Tari Eason.
Can I ask you this question? It isn't totally fair, but is he going to be better, do you think, next year than Jonathan Kuminga was this year?
I think that he's going to be defensively very impactful because a lot of his skill, from what I can tell, is just physical.
Yeah, but that's what Kuminga was. Like, Kuminga's a freak athlete, defensive player.
Yeah.
And he really bought into that system and grew. But when it came push to shove and you get up against another team that's really smart, like...
Did you have Malort? How did you unceremoniously drink that?
It gets worse. Has anybody ever had Malort? It's like the worst thing.
Brendan just drank Malort unceremoniously, by himself.
It hangs around. You didn't even drink the rest of it.
It's
Drink
like
the rest of
intentionally bad.
it. It is. Oh, it's like they added stuff to make it. They're like, nope, too good.
Did I tell you the story that was told to me when we were in Chicago
hit
drinking
me.
this
Yeah.
most foul
it
of
tastes
all
like
liquids?
shoe polish.
It was explained to me that in the time of Prohibition, that the only way that the distillery was able to make this foul liquid was to go under the guise of it being medicinal. So they were brewing this, or they were distilling this medicinal liquid.
Yeah.
That and then this is sort of like when you can't get anything, you'll take anything. So when alcohol is illegal and you're looking to just get drunk, Malort is what you get. It's bad. Anybody who's had Malort, I can't believe you just took a shot like that. You didn't even finish it, Brendan.
Yeah,
you have to
I
finish
was
it.
trying to get in the mood. You guys have been talking about Golden State for an hour. I'm trying
Brendan,
to
we
hate
need
on
to now.
Boston.
We need to do this in honor. This is for our main man,
This is
Jason
a
Tatum.
big pour.
This
I'm
is
not-
to celebrate 100 turnovers in the playoffs. Brendan, vote, please.
I can't. I'm going to throw up if I drink this whole thing.
Literally knocked his hat off.
That's the worst tasting.
Isn't that the worst? Like,
I know we ham it up on the
yeah,
show.
we
with
ham up the rock, yeah,
is
which
good.
it burns or whatever. but it's
Anybody
not
that has
bad.
had Malort, the one thing about Malort that you're not expecting is that it gets worse after it leaves.
It really does.
bad.
It hangs around. It lingers for like this
It's
uncomfortable.
like Tatum in the
amount of time.
finals.
Oh, dude, that is like
That is
Tatum
the
in
just
finals.
Jason
Let's
Tatum
go.
in the finals of alcohol. What a fun Friday.
But anyway, yes.
Tyrese
Tyrese, he's much bigger.
Does he play in this series
my
if it's
God.
Nuggets,
Yes.
Celtics? Really?
Yes, I think so. I do think so. There are like Herb Jones. There are guys that come in.
Yeah.
Herb Jones was dynamic defensively, but he was also dynamic offensively. The Nuggets, you can get guys that come in and provide just one skill. Like,
You know the part that scares me though about him?
What?
was the reason he's dropping? Do you
well,
remember?
you hear that there are some character issues potentially, right?
Well, I think it was more basketball IQ issues that maybe he doesn't really grasp the game and like it's hard to get him and like that always concerns me.
It does me too. The only thing is that I feel like the way the Denver Nuggets are constructed currently, like if you have a guy, I mean, a lot of people complain about Will Barton's basketball IQ. Like I feel like they have. And Michael Porter Jr.'s basketball IQ.
Right.
The only thing is that
Give
Nikola
just
Jokic,
guys that just drive him nuts. He's like, God
Nikola
damn it."
Jokic is a goddamn Einstein,
Yeah.
and he can make people better. If you just like run towards the basket, and
Yeah.
I'll throw you the ball. Like Tari Eason won't have the ball in his hands to make basketball decisions.
Yeah.
Like he just needs to block shots. He just needs to be in the way. I don't know. Like I could be wrong. I don't think I am. He just looks so impressive to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll be interested to see. I kind of question. I don't know that it would make sense to use. If you have 2 draft picks, to me, you have trade capital for something. And I look at that and I go, I would almost rather them use both picks to try to move something, a player, a more win down
to get-
player
I
or
couldn't
something
agree
of
more.
that. Or you trade one of them and Zeke or something. I don't know. The one thing I will say is we've talked a lot about Bones and there's been some Bones rumors. After watching Jordan Poole and the impact he's had on this team, like I honestly think that Bones gives Denver something that they really need to win a championship, and you might be able to
Sauce.
find it somewhere else.
Swag.
Some of that is swag, and some of that is like, hey man, we were talking about this in the group chat last night. Klay Thompson can go around and take as many bad shots as he wants. He injects that team with vibes that like nobody else does, and that's needed. Like sometimes you need the adults, and if you need the people that are there making the party, great. And he does that, and I think Bones can bring some of that too. But I think he brings some of the Jordan Poole-ness of how many teams have the ability to shut off this valve, and that valve, and that's Bones. And are there going to be series where it's like that's not his? Jordan Poole, I think, had the worst plus minus in this one of all the guys in the regular rotation in the finals. Like that wasn't the series for him to step into the limelight. Doesn't matter. Outside of Jokic and maybe Murray, and maybe if we're really lucky, Michael Porter, there's probably going to be at least one series that's not for every other player. Like every other guy is sort of situational. A little bit more in this series, a little bit less in that one. So
Sometimes you need a hatchet, sometimes you need a
Right.
paring knife, but we're gonna murder people all the same.
yeah, we're going to murder
It's
them
either-
all.
it's
And I
either-
think we're going to murder people with Bones a lot. Like I think there's going to be a lot of room for the Bones, Murray, Jokic trio, Michael
Couldn't agree
Porter Like I know that doesn't defend a lot, but there is series where that it doesn't matter. That's a lineup that you're going to bludgeon people with.
I also think I don't know if Bones is going to do what Jordan Poole did to the Nuggets, but I kind of think Bones could be a better player.
Are you sure he can't though?
Well, I just want to focus on the second part for now. Like when Poole wasn't hitting those shots, it was kind of more like Steve Kerr managing him. It was kind of more like watching Malone manage MPJ.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't want to take you off because of what could happen. But at some point, I have to reconcile with what is currently happening.
Right.
Yeah. But then there were moments when Jordan Poole just stuck a dagger into,
No question.
Like he hit the biggest shot in game 4. He hit big shot. Like early on in this game, he was instrumental in turning the tide. Like he hit 2 3-pointers when the Boston Celtics came off and when they were coming out hot, which I think we all expected them to do. And then it just was like, no, bro, like you're not going to do this tonight. Like there's something about like having that guy with the unreasonable confidence all the time that doesn't feel the pressure. I mean, I swear to God, Bones looks like he's getting more confident, which seems insane. I mean, granted, we only saw him playing at a pro-am, but he's getting bigger physically. Like I can tell the man's in the lab. Like this means something to him. Being great means something to him, I don't think that's true of every NBA player.
That's a good point. The idea of like, wanting greatness or
Yes.
wanting some this like, hey man, what's in store for me or this. Not everybody does have it. You're right.
I think Bones has. I think a guy who gets accused of not having it fairly often, Michael Porter Jr. I think he has that actually.
It can manifest itself in some. We haven't seen it manifested in the most
haven't
perfect
seen
way,
it
but same
throw
with
a
Bones.
basketball.
Yeah,
Other
it's
things
just-
to figure out for him,
yeah.
but I don't think.
But you're right that I do think he like sits there and envisions like, what's the best version of myself? What can I do?
Yes, and I think even within the
he came up
context
with
of his
blonde
back,
hair.
I think even within the context of his back, he thinks about all this stuff. I actually think when talking about that stuff is when he sounds most mature and reflective.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, but Bones is an old soul.
Hey,
or are you talking about Michael Porter Jr.?
the person wants me to give Boogie love. Absolutely, dude. Boogie whips ass. Okay, sorry. Back to the topic.
Where did the boogie topic come in? Like, where was that?
Because you said who does Kevon Looney remind you of, and I said Cousins, and that person was like, that was slander.
Is it though? I mean,
No,
here's the
dude,
thing. Like,
Kevon
Kevon Looney is
Looney's
freaking
won-
great, man. Like,
Well, what I
One-
was thinking was just a lot of people thought the Warriors didn't need a center, but to your point of versatility, what it meant to be able to play.
Watch
him,
that.
whatever.
Watch that
Not the
Maverick
point.
series again, and tell me that Kevon Looney is not important to the Golden State Warriors. He murdered the Mavericks on the inside.
I think Kevon Looney was among the top players again in plus minus in the finals too. Like sometimes, of course, it's Steph and Draymond. Like those are the two guys, and Andrew Wiggins to an extent. But you do need to have these other guys that
Absolutely.
can do things. And that's what Kevon Looney represents: is a guy that can go in there and like, all right, we have our weak lineup out there, but Kevon Looney's going to help us mitigate the disaster because you're going to have to work really hard
For
to
sure.
score on us now. And
For sure.
and that's what you need.
Oh,
So,
just a hard hat to work guy. You know what I mean? Just like you said earlier, you know exactly what he's going to do, and he's not going to try to do anything else.
I love you talking about a hard hat to work.
Well,
on.
we're
Michael Malone. I've been listening to Michael Malone. Oh wow!
Just a lunch
By the way,
trailer.
there are beads. You probably can't. They're probably not popping on the camera, but you should know.
all right, big time hot takes here. I think that I am curious that the Warriors represent a homegrown, like, I think it's hard to look at the last 10 years of the NBA and not think that there are better champions and people that get celebrated more than others. And you look at it and you go, Giannis in Milwaukee, no question. Steph Curry with the Warriors, like, are you kidding me? He's the man of the decade in the NBA.
Dirk
An
with
NBA
Dallas.
that features a LeBron James that was for most of that in the prime of his career. Dirk, if we go back even farther. And then you've got these other ones with super teams. And I'm not saying LeBron doesn't have like some very meaningful, whatever, like moments with his super teams. But I think when we step back and look at this, I just think it's so hard for people to look at Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and some of these other, and LeBron James to a certain extent, and look at these and say, that's what I want. I think they all look at Steph Curry crying on the floor last night and go, no, that's way cooler. That's way more meaningful. I'm not saying the super team era is dead, but I do feel like it has taken some major blows
Definitely,
over the
dude.
last like 4 or 5
Oh, I
years.
love that point. I love that point.
I kind of love that it's a pendulum, and both sides have points, and it just has traded off. We have a super team win, and then we have a homegrown team win, and then we have a super team win, and we have a hometown.
Who was the super team? Lakers?
the
in the bubble?
LeBrons? All the LeBron
Yeah,
teams. It's
yeah.
like in that they were crafted. They were just put.
But you know
in
what nobody talks about?
What?
2020 Lakers.
Yeah.
That's like a team that won it and then like
Yeah, but they were a super team.
disappeared.
They were a team that was.
I know, but what I'm saying is there's this like the same thing with KD. Like
don't have
when
they won't
people
be
don't
revered.
really when people talk about the KD Warriors, they almost talk about it dismissively of like,
You're
oh
right.
yeah, then they just kind of took over,
course.
whatever. And then with these ones, they're like, how cool was that?
Yes.
Like this team or this or that.
Oh.
And that's all I'm saying is I think there's KD, as much as he's online and fighting with people, and I don't hate, KD I have mixed feelings about with all of this stuff, but like with KD, he's sitting there miserable on Twitter, like doing this stuff, and you're just like, that's because like
Do you
he
still have
feels
Malort
it.
Mouth over there?
Yeah, dude.
All right, well, can you do an ad read on Malort Mouth?
Yeah.
You know
Let's
what?
take a
You know
break.
what might actually help you is if you sucked on those plastic beads that are covered in lead-based paint.
Yeah.
On the other side, the homie Miroslav's been waiting patiently to educate us on Serbian basketball players, which I'm very excited for, as well as probably give us all of his hot takes on the stuff we've been discussing. So we'll do that on the other side.
Breckenridge Brew is the official beer of DNVR. Beers are on tap and regular seltzers are being sold in the bar when we're open, which is currently only for Avalanche game nights, but we are open. So come with your friends and come early because, man, it wasn't a long line out the door. We opened at, I think, 3:30 and we were full at about 3:40.
Oh, it was, dude, there were like 25 people.
Also, what day of the week was that?
Monday.
No,
Monday.
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
What day is it going to be tomorrow?
Saturday.
This place, we got pom-poms. It's going to be unbelievable. I'm telling you, man, tomorrow is going to be...
Well, I mean,
We're going to set a vibes record.
Oh, the vibe, to say that they're immaculate, the vibes are going to be, what's like more chaotic than immaculate?
If they win tomorrow, if the Avs win tomorrow, I honestly think it will be the number one,
No
spot.
question. This
No
is
question.
this is the Stanley Cup
yeah.
Finals, man.
There's just an energy right now with Avs fans. It's so cool.
And this all goes together because score 2 for a brew promotion from Breck Brew regarding the Avalanche Amber Ale is in full swing, and it whips ass.
And it
What's
hit
better than
last
the
time, by
Avs
the way.
scoring 2 goals in the first period? That's right, Eric. They did last game. And everyone who had an Avalanche Amber Ale earlier in the day, well, they got a free beer because on game days, when you start that Avs day with an Avalanche Amber Ale at any bar or restaurant and you save your receipt, Breck Brew will pay it back via rebate if the Avs score 2 or more goals in the first period. I don't know if you've been paying attention. That happens a lot. They're very good. Avalanche Amber Ale, it's tight. The Avalanche, they're tight. Breckenridge Brewery, they're tight. Tight. You know what else is tight?
What?
Sexy pizza.
Oh, so tight.
I got to the bar for the Avs game and I was starving and I didn't get food on the way in because I thought, you never know when the sponsors slide on through. And
Look at that.
they slid on through. There was a whole buffet of sexy pizza. I felt sexy. I felt full. You know, we've had sexy pizza every Broncos tailgate we've hosted this year. It's delicious. And with the Avs in the Stanley Cup playoffs, we have a special discount offer for the fans. That's you. Starting today until the end of that Stanley Cup final, fans can get 15% off their entire order using the promo code DNVR Avs. And don't forget to order sexy pizza for your watch parties at home. But why would you throw a watch party at home and watch alone when you can come here with the diehards? We will see you on Saturday.
Let's go.
We have one super chat before we get to Serbian Corner. We'll hit that real quick. Cool Cootie tells us, lasers. After watching
Cool
other
Cuddy.
teams, can Denver win against Golden State playing big? Also, you should do a snake draft of most hated players. Hey, man, that could be a fun one, actually. That's a really good idea. I appreciate that one. Can the Nuggets win playing big? I think so. Like, I think there's some... The Nuggets couldn't beat the Warriors because they didn't have enough players, guys. Like, that was the thing.
Shit.
So I know there's some people that, like, are trying to give the, like, oh, Malone didn't make the right adjustments or this or that. Like... The idea of like Denver playing some of the guys that maybe were speculated playing or some of the configurations to me don't make sense. But I do think there's something too. The Nuggets are going to feel and look awfully big when they have Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, Jokic, and the spacing that Jamal Murray provides. Like next, Andrew Wiggins crushing the glass and this or that. It's going to be Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon dominating the glass and Jokic dominating the grass. So just not with the guys they had this year. I don't think it's a mistake from this year.
Dude, they were playing big, and that's how they ultimately got close. It was Boogie Cousins, Nikola Jokic were like the 2 most pivotal players going down the stretch for the Denver Nuggets, and then they would kick it out to Jeff Green, who was like one half of a player. Like he just wasn't. He was like not present. Like if you're kicking that out to Jamal Murray.
Michael Porter.
Michael Porter.
Automatic.
That's playing. I mean, that's playing. Like that's not just playing big. That's just playing balanced, which the Nuggets have the ability to do.
All right, live from Serbia, we're going to bring in the homie Miroslav here to school us and educate us as we prepare to go to the motherland here later this summer. Miroslav, can you hear me?
Mile High City, baby!
Woke him up from a slumber. We made him wait all the way till segment 3 today. He was a mild slumber. So first of all, we're all sharing some takes now. The 2022 season is a distant memory, but do you want to look back at that distant memory? Do you have any takes about this finals or about any of the things we've been talking
about
about?
the finals, Miroslav?
I love the finals because I'm fucking not afraid of either Boston or Golden State.
Oh, no
I'm
fear.
not afraid of those teams. I mean, yes, Steph Curry is amazing. He really is amazing. He is still one guy. You have Draymond Green, who is going to be, 32 next year? He's undersized. He should be like 3% worse than what he was this year. And he wasn't so amazing this year anyway.
Show your work.
You know, Klay Thompson, he's a shadow of himself. Yes, he's still hitting those crazy shots, but he's not as effective defensively as he used to be. If the Golden State Warriors are the best team next year,
That's fine.
I'm optimistic. I have no problem with them being their biggest foe next season.
Holy smokes.
I'm right there with you. I like it. I'm into it. I like it. We're confident.
I love that.
Not smug, but we're coming in with a.
Well, we've learned our lesson.
We've learned our lesson, but we're coming in day one of the offseason, the true offseason.
As close to smug as you can be.
but
What
not,
is-
but not smug.
But not smug.
We're humbug. We're humble.
We'll workshop it. We'll workshop it. We'll workshop it some more. Any other passing thoughts here before we get into our lesson?
Let's see. Yeah, I've made a poll on Twitter about should Bones Highland be as good as Jordan Poole next season. You know, is there a potential for him to be as impactful in a playoff series as we saw Jordan Poole from time to time to be? And you know what? Both of them are not, or at least right now, defensive juggernauts. But on the offensive side, they can really heat up really quick. And let's see if we can get that kind of contribution from him. And that's a really, really solid 5th or 6th guy for your team.
I honestly think he can. Like Jordan Poole maybe has. I was going to say he has higher highs, but didn't Bones this very
He does
playoffs
not
have
have
the
higher
most
highs.
threes
Yes.
in one quarter ever?
And he also had the most long threes.
The most long threes. Like so.
Dude, Bones.
So I don't know. I think he can be there. I think he can be there next year.
Oh.
Defensively, I think he's going to be like Jordan Poole. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Jordan Poole was the weak link in the Warriors' attack. Like every team after Denver was like, "Hey, we got to when Poole's on the court, we got to feast." And to various degrees of success. So that'll happen, but he still has use value even in the playoffs.
Absolutely, I agree.
All right. Well, let's get a lesson here, Miroslav. What do you have to teach us today?
Learn me something.
Okay, let's see the presentation first.
So proud. He's so proud.
He is so proud.
Do we see it?
Yeah, we see it.
Yeah, we see it. Can you not?
Our minds are open.
I need to switch to YouTube because I have a different. Okay,
Oh,
okay.
well, you have your
We
own.
see it.
Don't you
No
have a
problem.
presentation though? Can't you just follow it? Like
No,
we're on
no,
slide
I,
one.
I do have it, but I just want to be on the same page as Kale.
We'll do it live.
Okay, very good. Let's do it live. Okay, so first off, we are learning about the greatest Serbian basketball players in history.
I
This
know
is
one.
a course for non-European tourists. So this time, yeah, I have to say, you thought you had bad backlash from the player tiers a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
this
we
is gonna
did.
be way worse than what you had.
Oh, great.
Because,
Oh, good.
because everybody from Serbia in this chat is gonna hate this. So
well, are they going to hate it more than your food? Like people really were like, I was getting DMs being like, "Don't listen to Miroslav. He doesn't know food." I
Your
was like,
stocks
"What?
have never
Your
dropped
stock is
more
low. Your
in
stock's a
one
little
segment.
low right now."
And also, this is not a course for them. This is a course for us. So Serbians in the chat,
point.
pipe down, dude.
Pipe down.
guys, I'm like 5'11" and 225 pounds, so I know food. Don't worry.
Nice.
Don't worry about it. Okay, so first off, I want to explain what we are looking at here. Can we get the next slide, Kale, please?
The criteria slide.
Yeah, so even though this list features Serbia's best players in history, the ranking represents their greatness, not their skill level. So what I was trying to do is find guys who are the greatest and not the best in order to rank them. This is very important to me because I cherish team success and also the individual accolades for this list more than, pure skill and pure basketball brilliance.
Okay.
Next page, please.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Kale. Next slide.
Peja.
Yep. Yes. So I don't see it yet here. Okay, no problem. So through the miracle of Excel spreadsheet, I was awarding players with ranking points for their. Oh shit! Let me go back to my. Okay. So through the miracle of Excel spreadsheet, I was awarding players with ranking points for their individual and team success.
Okay, yep,
But
got
only
it.
for the national team, NBA, and EuroLeague appearances.
Okay.
Next slide. You will
Yep.
be relieved to learn that I will not be showing this Excel spreadsheet, only its ranking results. So
Okay.
without further ado, here's a list of Serbia's top 12 greatest basketball players in its
12.
history.
Top 12.
Top
wow.
12,
The dirty
Jesus.
the dirty dozen.
NBA 75 over here.
Flirty dozen. Come on, we don't have the license to do the dirty dozen. Come on. We don't want to get sued. Okay. So, number 12, Peja Stojakovic. You know this guy.
Yeah, we
Man, 12. This list is going to be controversial.
Yeah, well, you'll see. You'll see. Okay, so in this first photo, you
Yes,
can
Jokic
see
got
Peja
one. I'm gonna kill him.
Stojakovic holding his MVP trophy from the 2001 Eurobasket when he was the best player over there. And on the next slide, you can see his accolades. So he is the FIBA World Champion from 2002. I don't know if you remember that World Cup. It was in Indianapolis in the USA when Yugoslavia won against the USA.
People
the George
sometimes
Karl USA.
talk shit about this one, and people have to understand nobody here even knows about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I get it.
No.
I get it. We still beat you in the quarterfinals and then
your
won
shit,
the gold
Miro.
medal against Argentina.
Haters ball.
Haters ball. It's like Lamar Odom and like
A year prior to that, 2001 Eurobasket champion, and also in the NBA. He was the NBA champion in 2011 with the Dallas Mavericks. He was the sixth player on that team, but he was basically a starter level player. So I awarded the points for that kind of achievement accordingly. And also he was all NBA second team in 2004 and
Nice.
3 times NBA All-Star. All
Actually-
that for number 12 on this list.
I didn't know he was second team NBA, actually. That part I
He
didn't
was
know.
actually number 4 in the MVP ranking that year in 2004. That was the year when Chris Webber was hurt, so he had to take a lot of,
who's good.
load on himself. Okay,
It's a phrasing issue.
okay, next one, number 11, Željko Rebrača. I know you have no idea who this guy is, so I will show you the next slide. Kale, please, next slide of Željko Rebrača. Now look at this beautiful blonde hair. This is how
wow.
he looked like in the NBA.
Wow.
So this might be a bit more. Maybe you remember this, probably not. Anyway, Željko Rebrača, he is from a village close to Nikola's Sombor, so they are very good with each other, with Nikola's family. Željko Rebrača is the Olympic silver medalist, FIBA World Cup champion, 2 times Eurobasket champion, and also he has 2 Euroleagues, once as the best player and the other time as a not the best player.
Better
on
than
the team.
Peja Stojakovic. All right.
Yes,
Mira, this is
yes. All of
this
these
is a,
accolades
such a
add up to more points on the Excel spreadsheet. Listen, man, I was not using my emotions. I was not using film here. I was using pure math. I'm an engineer, so you have to respect that.
so true. All right.
This guy.
Let's go. Number 10, Aleksandar Đorđević. One of my favorite guys on this list. Aleksandar Đorđević is actually probably the best scoring point guard in the history of Europe. And he also had a short stint in Portland Trailblazers during the 90s. And take a look at his resume. So on the next slide, you can see that he won the Olympic silver, FIBA World Cup champion, 3 times Eurobasket champion, Eurobasket bronze medal, EuroLeague champion once as a best player. Aleksandar Sasha Đorđević. He was also the coach of the national team of Serbia last time Nikola Jokic was playing in 2019.
Oh, it was that guy? Oh, the
Yeah,
guy
that
sucks
guy.
at rotations. There's no way this guy uses his top 10. Come on.
I will not comment on that because my older son is called Alexander after this guy, so yeah,
Okay.
I'll just let this one slide.
Alrighty. Okay.
Let's go to number 9. Number 9, Predrag Danilovic. Okay, this guy is also a favorite of mine. He was a teammate of Aleksandar Đorđević back in '92 in Partizan Belgrade when they won their only EuroLeague championship. That was the team that was age 22 on average with no foreign players. It was an amazing journey by Partizan Belgrade. And later on, of course, he was the star of the national team and some teams in Italy. Also had a pretty nice NBA career in Miami and shortly in Dallas Mavericks. His tally, Olympic silver, 4 Eurobasket championships, which is a record. Nobody has 4 like him.
Nice.
Eurobasket bronze medal and 2 times EuroLeague champion as the best player. Predrag Sasha Danilovic. Don't ask me why his nickname is Sasha. It's too complicated.
Danilovic.
Okay.
Let's go on. Tied for number 7. Yes, we have a tie. Matt is ruthless because, there are no tiebreakers if you have the exact same number of
course,
points.
The spreadsheet, man.
You're gonna get tied. So tied at number 7, Zoran Savic. He was a defensive guy. He was, let's say, the European Draymond Green of the 80s and the 90s, and this is why his teams were very, very, very successful. So look at his resume on the next slide. Zoran Savic. This is him playing for Jugoplastika Split, Croatian team. He won 3 EuroLeagues with that team. And actually, he was the MVP once, and the other time he was the top scorer on the team that also had Toni Kukoc and Dino Radja.
So not like Draymond.
No, well, yeah, he is a better shooter than Draymond, of course. Nobody's...
Not last night, baby. Draymond was locked in.
Okay, next to those EuroLeagues, he also has Olympic silver, World Cup gold, and 3 Eurobasket golds.
Right.
Enough for tie on number 7. Also tied at number 7, Žarko Paspalj. Now, this is my favorite guy when I was a kid. He was my hero. He's also a lefty like me.
Nice.
This is him trying to be bullied by Shaq O'Neal, unsuccessful because this was from the 1996 final game at the Olympics.
Look at that
when
neck beard.
Žarko scored 18 points in first half, and of course US won at the end. But before that, Žarko was brilliant. He had 2 stints in the NBA, one when he actually played a couple of games. That was in San Antonio Spurs. Look at this beautiful photo. The other time he was only on the Atlanta Hawks training team, but he didn't make the final cut because he was
This guy's
still
better than
smoking.
Pedro?
Yeah, it's better than Peja. All right, man, this is a crazy
Hey,
list.
he said greatness.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
look at the numbers are here. So 2 Olympic silvers,
Okay.
FIBA World Cup champion, 3 Olympic golds, and Eurobasket bronze. So that adds up for tied at number 7. As I said, he didn't make the cut at the Atlanta Hawks because he was still smoking 2 packs a day, and they wouldn't allow
Yeah,
that
that'll do it.
back in
that'll do it.
1996.
Okay.
Okay, next up, number 6, Zoran Moka Slavnic. Okay, this is a group photo, but don't worry, Zoran is the guy with the mustache on this photo. So
Look
you
at that guy.
recognize
Wow,
him.
what a stud.
Oh no. Oh, sorry. Everybody wore mustache back then. Okay, the guy in the middle. The guy in the middle. Okay, this is Zoran Moka Slavnic. Fun fact: Moka is short for motka, and that's a Serbian word for a pole you can hit somebody with, because he was kind of a bad boy when he was growing up. But that doesn't matter for his basketball reference. Zoran Moka Slavnic, look at this handsome photo in color from
Incredible.
the 70s in Red Star Belgrade.
All right,
Uniform.
we got to speed through these other ones here.
Yeah, I'm an
don't worry, don't
ADHD
worry.
child. bro.
Or at minimum,
we're
have
going to
somebody I've heard
really
of.
interesting ones. Don't worry.
Oh,
You'll
here it is.
see.
This is we're getting to
You'll
the top
see.
5 now, baby.
Yeah, top 5 is coming up. You can see.
Oh,
Zoran
I'm
Slavnic's
out of
resume.
here.
Are
I'm
you
out of here.
fucking
I'm out of here. You honest
Get
to God,
the f-
honest to God, I might end the segment right
Fuck
now,
you.
Miroslav. I
Fuck
might
you.
end this one
Guys,
right here.
You need to understand something.
Fuck you.
I don't need to understand.
Nikola
You
Jokic.
need to understand something.
Nikola Jokic being top 5 on the Serbia's greatest players
Get
at
the f-
only half of his career is actually a really great achievement, because he still has enough time to earn more points than what he had so far.
Is number 4
and
Jason
surpass
Tatum?
Everybody. All of these guys are retired. All of these guys finished their careers.
I'm
Nikola
so
Jokic
fucking mad right now.
still here.
5? Like,
am
I thought you'd do
furious.
2.
I did
thought
too.
you'd
I
get
thought he had a
cute
little
and do
joke in
2.
here. All right.
5?
Go ahead,
see.
run through it here.
Let's
Yep,
see
we
the
know
accolades.
the accolades. We already got it. Already got it. Yep.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Can we make
so
Boy out of the
Olympic
guy?
silver?
Is that?
2 times NBA MVP, 3 times All-NBA first team,
Okay.
All-NBA second team, 4 times NBA All-Star, and here is the nice photo of him when he was playing for Mega Basket.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's move on. Oh, he was so skinny in Mega. Look at this. Okay, let's
chat's
go
gonna
on.
be
Number 4,
furious.
Dan Bodiroga. Dan Bodiroga is my favorite
Oh yeah,
player
this guy,
of all
dude.
time.
He's so much better than
Oh, he is
Jokic.
so much better. I hope Yo can
Oh.
reach this level someday.
Come on, guys. I told you at the beginning, this is not ranking the brilliance. We're ranking the achievements. So Dan Bodiroga, my favorite guy. Here he is clinched by Reggie Miller. And on the other photo, he's also being clinched by Reggie Miller's towel, where he is cleaning his hands on. Dan Bodiroga, Olympic silver, 2-time World Cup champion, 3-time Eurobasket champion, European bronze.
That's
3-time
way better than
EuroLeague
2 NBA
champion.
MVPs.
This
That's
is
so
like-
much
I feel
better.
like this is like
Numbers
weird-
say that. Numbers say that. Come on, guys. There
All
is
right.
life
So does
outside
this mean that
of NBA.
Facu
so
is going to be
mad.
the number one?
I'm so mad. This
number
might be
two,
the last
tied at
Serbian
number two.
corner we ever do.
The chat wants you arrested.
This is literally the last Serbian
This
corner.
isn't Serbian corner. This is Serbian dead end.
Next week is gonna be Serbian corner with Ice Cave guy. Not even Serbian. Doesn't matter.
What's
Tied
funny
at
is
number
the
2.
Serbians agree
Dragan
with him.
Kicanovic. Dragan Kicanovic, look at these accolades. Okay, on the second photo, he's the guy
can't
with the
wait.
mustache.
That's Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
So this guy, look at all these medals. There are 10 medals, and this is the funny part. This guy retired at his age 30. So he has won 10 medals with the national team by his age 30.
He's
So
playing against
basically for
plumbers.
every year of his professional career. And he was a scoring 2-guard, excellent guy. And the only reason why he's not number 1 on this list is the guy on his right, and that we will get to later on because he played for a bit longer than Dragan. Okay, next one. Tied at number 2, Vlade Divac. Also with Reggie Miller
I'm just so mad.
in the contact.
All right,
Vlade
yeah.
Divac, 2 times
Yeah.
Olympic silver,
Yeah.
2 times World
Yeah, he
Cup
was
champion.
incredible.
right, yeah, Vlade
Absolutely.
Divac,
Yep,
yeah.
absolutely.
Won some
3-time
international
NBA
stuff.
MVP.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Yeah.
You see all this?
Yeah.
Great resume, really great resume. Vlade Divac played for the national team from 1986 to 2002. That's 16 years for you. So this is why I have him so high on my Mount Rushmore. And
Is that
finally,
the guy that drafted Marvin Bagley? Is that
listen,
him?
man, I'm not here drafting, the front office guys. These are just pure players. Okay, how about Michael Jordan then? Come on. I will always answer with Michael Jordan. Number 1, Dražen Dalipagic. This is the guy who played longer than Dragan Kicanovic. Look at those mustaches, man. That's beautiful. That's
So
beautiful.
this
He
way,
was-
Yoke needs a mustache, is what I'm learning here, to win over the approval of Serbians.
I'm not sure he is able to have one, but we'll see. We'll see. Look at this list. Dražen Dalipagic, 12 medals with the national team. I will not read them all because it's too long of a list. Just a wonderful, wonderful
Eric, as a
career.
design choice, do you like that he avoided the tear? That rather than use like a different color. Or something,
No,
he just-
I think I actually prefer it because my favorite thing is that according to the algorithm that Miroslav came up with, the best player on the Denver Nuggets is Facu Campazzo.
yeah, oh, he's got so many accolades. He's got so many accolades.
He does. Not as much as Dražen Dalipagic, but we'll see. Okay. Special edition, special bonus. The
Oh,
greatest
it
player
keeps
in
going. It's
Yugoslav
great.
basketball history. So this guy is not from Serbia, but since I was born in Yugoslavia, I want to
Dražen
honor a
Petrovic.
guy that won the most medal in history of Yugoslavia, just to show you how incredible those generations from 1970 to 1991 were. Like in those 21 years, there were like 18 medals for Yugoslavia. This guy was named Krešimir Ćosić. He was the Jokic before Jokic. He was the
Hold on,
passing
which guy
big
here? I
man.
gotta know. It better not be the
So
guy on the right.
So the guy without the mustache.
Number
Guy-
11.
He is the center. Yes, next to Dražen Dalipagic. Okay, so Krešo Ćosić. Look at this list. 14 medals for Krešo Ćosić. Such a wonderful career. Unfortunately, this guy died very young at the age of 46 from the very, very scary illness back in 1995. Next week, Kale, the last slide. next week, top 5 antidotes for snake bite.
Wait,
I
there's
have to
multiple
explain
antidotes?
this. I have to explain this because thing is, the nature in Serbia is not very scary, and I need to scare you guys because I want when you come here that you realize, oh, it's not as bad as Miroslav has prepared us for. So this is really nice. So we have no alligators, we have no mountain lions. Hell, we don't have even regular lions here, you know, just some pretty nice nature. Some poisonous snakes, but not too bad. Not like Australia, man. It's much nicer here.
I just love the idea, Miroslav, that you're concerned about our fear level of the animals of Serbia. Like, I don't know what you think we're going to be doing.
We're not going into nature. We're going into bars.
We're trying to drink with you.
We're going where Rakia is, and
But that's for next week, guys.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh,
Let's not waste our time for that.
Miroslav, that was a fantastic lesson. Actually, it was terrible.
I
It was
retained
absolutely
none of
terrible
that.
lesson. There's not going to be a next week. You are fired.
I was so clouded with anger. I retained none of that.
Do you guys want to go visit like Croatia or something?
Yeah,
A little
I mean,
bit.
Well, let's just go to Italy.
Well,
I might
let's
just go to
Canada.
Argentina.
Oh, we should go to Canada.
Jamal Murray's homeland.
Canada trip? Are you in?
Yeah, Kitchener. Let's hit it up.
Sure.
dude.
You're gonna
Everybody,
save so much money.
the 2022 season officially over. The 2023 season begins. Next week we are back and it is go time. Monday show, Tuesday show, Wednesday show, Thursday live draft show, and then a casual Friday. The Denver Nuggets will be different next week. How crazy is that? And exciting.
You can never step in the same
River.
stream
Yeah.
twice, Adam.
Yeah, that's right. It's constantly flowing in one direction. Hit that like button on the way out, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Let's go!
Shipping up to Boston. Whoa.